Apparently, Britain is now offering travel warnings about the United States. So Gawker explains here, following the passage of anti-LGBT laws in Mississippi and North Carolina, Britain's Foreign Office has updated its travel advice page to include the following warning about the United States. The U.S. is an extremely diverse society, and attitudes towards LGBT people differ hugely across the country. LGBT travelers may be affected by legislation passed recently in the states of North Carolina and Mississippi. They actually go on to get very specific, and they say something like, if you were born male, but you're a trans woman, you may be locked up with men in prison, and vice versa. So in other words, if you're trans, they don't respect what your gender is now. They just, what were you born as? That's where you're going. All right? They wouldn't only let you go in the bathroom of your choice. So these are the things that they say specifically in their warning that, okay, you got to understand, Mississippi, North Carolina, they don't like you there if you're an LGBT traveler. So just all the facts before you go wherever you're going to go. So do I agree with this? Yeah, I do agree with it. And I don't know why anybody would disagree with it because, I mean, think about it. If you're a far right winger in those states, wouldn't you want them to know before they come into your place? Like, yeah, these are the laws. Like, if you don't want them to know that, well, then why are you ashamed of your laws? Like, you presumably you believe in these laws that you just passed because you're a far right winger in Mississippi and North Carolina. So it's like having somebody come to your country and you say, I'm just letting you know before you come here. Murder's wrong here. It's illegal. We're not going to let you do it. So you should know all the rules and regulations and laws before you come in here because you got to abide by them. You got to play by the rules. So if you don't want to tell them about the recent anti-LGBT laws, well, then maybe you understand on some level that there's a problem with those anti-LGBT laws. So I don't know why anybody would be like, oh, how dare you? What do you mean, how dare you? They passed the laws. We're just saying, hey, these are what the laws are. Now, they also, give warnings to other places, and the warnings for other places are much more severe, rightfully so. Like, for example, if a gay person travels to Russia. Even as bad as North Carolina and Mississippi are, they're not as bad as Russia is with, their anti-gay ideology there. They're not as bad as many Islamic countries with their anti-gay ideology. So people should know these things. Like me, for example, I would love a travel warning if I were to consider going to fucking Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'd love for my government to tell me, hey, jackass, all atheists are terrorists there. You're a famous atheist. You sure you want to go? So, yeah, these are all important things. And perhaps if you're on the right and you're angry about this story, well, then maybe you should look in the mirror. Because if you're fine with passing the law, but you don't want to share the fact that these laws exist, well, then maybe on some level you're really not fine with passing these laws, and you really are against these because, you're kind of being a dick to LGBT people.